The hell did the color go? Oh. Hi guys. That corny joke does not exist anymore. Welcome to the kitchen where kitchen things happen. And we're doing a casual breakfast from the 1940s, and then lunch, then dinner, but we're starting off with a 1940s breakfast, which should be fun, because it's easy. It's eggs and toast. So, let's get started. So we're going to start off with the eggs. The one part we will need is butter, obviously. And fun fact, in World War II, it did cost a lot more money for these. When I mean by a lot, it means we had to ration our butter. And because we had ration cards and we had an amount of points. And the point system was how we got our food and how, well, we ate. And like usual, people eat, right? You would imagine that people need to eat during the Second World War and whatnot. So, the one thing we did rely on in the mornings was a nice, nutritious breakfast, and half of that was either cereal, but we're not doing that because it's too simple. So is eggs, but that's what happens when, well, that's the only thing you can eat, and the only thing you could feed the family. Did I put too much butter? Maybe. Is that by accident? Yeah. I don't know how to portion my butter just like how they did. Because how they did it was pretty much as you would think. Like, they rationed it pretty well because we used butter for a lot of things back then. Like, butter was used for steak, which at the time, if you were to buy it, would be 56 cents. Whew, no one would want to buy a huge, whopping, it was like a 5-pound, I believe, steak. But later in the video, you're going to be seeing what it meant when we changed one thing and one key ingredient. So, these eggs are not done yet. So, there's one thing we can do is focus on the bread. One thing about bread back then, they did have toasters, but like modern day, we have these modified toasters, and they had different kinds of them, and it was practically what you would imagine. A toaster, but it's different because back then a toaster was looking like kind of like a triangle on both sides, and the heating rays were in between instead of inside, like straight. But luckily for us, we did get the chance to still make food. And practically one of our slogans were, "The food is our real weapon," and it was. I mean, also at the same time, this was also not around, but I'm using it for the sake of it not being easy, but me trying it out. So just like in that time era of World War II, we had to suffer through us having to, and at home wise, we ate food, obviously. No duh. Like, no shit, Sherlock. You're gonna eat food when you're at your own house. Like, you're not gonna go to, say, going to hop over to Canada. So, hey, can we get some food? I love Canada. That's a good place. And what the thing is, with half of the things we did use in World War II, we were rationing a lot more than some of us would say. And half of us would be like, oh, we don't need to ration any food, but sometimes it's better off rationing, because if you don't, you're kind of like, you need food to survive, you need water to survive, you need a lot of things to survive. And just like in World War II, life was not the best. And pretty unique things did happen, like, on the home front we did get comic books. Well, America straight up had comic books, and what ended up happening with the comic books that we got Captain America, and Batman, Robin, all these comic book heroes coming to I would say help join the war, but really they were just kind of it was like political cartoons. And these political cartoons, Isa, I didn't do good. I didn't do that good on the eggs, but that's also because time was practically not a good time to be alive, I will say. No doubt, we quite literally went through, before we even got into World War II, we just came, we were in the Depression of America, which no one really likes. But what happened, and we can't reverse time, but we wished. And now let's check on the toast. Let me pop up the joint here. And my eggs don't look that bad. I say it don't look bad because they don't look bad to me. They might look bad to you guys because I frankly don't care. I eat eggs differently, so I don't care if they're all messed up. So this was like a state in a. You know what? Let me just get started with another one of those toast. Okay, just taking out every bit of the eggs. But in World War II, we did have minor supplies because what did we do? At the time we gave supplies to our practically our allies at the time. Still our allies, but one of the biggest things that we needed was more and more time to heal. Did we have that time? We did not really. We had time to get more, supplies, but that was only due to the fact that we kept on pushing our agenda to focus on, you know what, I'm just going to throw it here too. We wanted to push our agenda onto getting more food, pushing our supplies to France, Russia, and to all of our allies at the time, and we were practically living it rich. And what I mean by living it rich, I mean like we quite literally just acted like rich Navy assholes like 24/7 when we were like, even if we were in like very like low classes, we were still like, yeah, at least we're not that guy that's sitting on the street begging for money. We were at least happy. Till, of course, depression happened, and, well, what happened. And, well, the depression was a hard time in America, and also, during World War II, one of the biggest things that happened were the fact that when we did end up losing half of our econ during the Depression, we started getting it back slowly and slowly and slowly. But another fact about World War II, we also did not have the luxury of using real chicken eggs. We had, if you were specifically a person to get a dozen eggs like this, you would be like considered like in like third class, practically saying like, oh, I'm better than you. And of course they technically were at the time. And what we actually ended up having, instead of the glorious time when we had a dozen eggs, we had powdered eggs, which powdered eggs make scrambled eggs. And not fried eggs, but these work because we did technically eat them. Because, well, I mean, that's the only food we could possibly make besides cereal, which cereal is every kid's favorite thing to eat in the morning. Well, I mean, whose isn't? I mean, half of my friends think I'm crazy for liking. Ooh. Yeah, my chef's hand. Ooh. That's not good. Yeah. Mean it. I don't care. I burnt myself like 1,000 times on like a few things. Oh, they're done. They're for sure done, yeah. Yeah. And one glory we did have, besides like toast and eggs, we did end up having, besides all this for breakfast, cereal, oatmeal, a cup of joe, and a lot of other things, but these were like mainly the goal to have for breakfast morning. And I'll cut to lunch, and after I finish this, it's going to be awesome, yeah. So now we're on to the one thing that is, well, we're making two things for lunch. One is stew, and you know, I'll be asking, guys, Chris, or as you know me on YouTube, HBWolfman8191, what are you doing? Well, it's pretty simple. I am cooking. I'm not cooking. I'm sauteing some of this stuff. These pretty good leeks, you know? I like leeks. And I have some recipe. I have the recipe right here, so. Yeah, so I'm just gonna wait till the butter melts, so. Yeah, So the eggs turned out good, though. That's good. That's a good thing. I'm not on the floor. Big and I was not alive. Yeah. I did not hurt myself. I'm okay. Supervision was here. Don't worry. I'm not here without supervision. So that's good. Alright. Here we go. So we finished one thing. And that's putting my leeks in here. And someone in the class would say, why am I cooking with the greens? The greens, like a whole head of cabbage right here. What is my cat wanting? Okay. So not cooking for my cat day. We're not cooking my cat a filet mignon. Even though my cat would probably like that. Probably for sure would like the fact that if I cooked for him, but I'm not. I'm a potato. Damn it. My freaking yeah. I mean my stuff that's been going on in my brain. It's acting up. Yay. Potato. I don't know, I'm just letting my mind go free. No, I need my freaking drink. All this cooks. Do. Back in the kitchen. What's that on my hand? There's something on my hand. Okay. You may also be asking, why do I choose stew? Vegetable stew, matter of fact. This is vegetable stew because, during this time era, we did have a lot of, like, well, vegetables, and later on in the end of the war, we did end up making victory gardens. As a normal history teacher would know. I mean, shout out to Spiegel because he's the good teacher. Love that guy. Anytime I hear like the things he says, like whenever we're trying to learn like a specific topic and someone's like talking over him and he tells him to shut up, I'm like, yeah. He's the coolest guy. Is he my teacher? Yes, I don't care. I love the guy. He's chill. He's the chill guy. It's a chill guy meme. But also, what I also found very interesting about this stew, we're not using meat. Because back then, meat was like a main priority, as you would imagine. But most people did not have the luck on getting these. And one of these things were potatoes. Which, if you heard me going, I'm a potato, it's my freaking things that have been going on in my brain. Boing. Well, anyways. This is like, I have to wait till they turn a specific color. I need to add a little bit more butter. Might need a little bit more butter. Probably like that much. We see the problem when you're typing that incorrectly. So let me autocorrect it for you. Thank you for choosing exotic butters. Yeah. Exotic butters, yeah. A phone now! Ah! Man, I'm going crazy. Good thing, I like Gordon Ramsay. I like that guy. He's a cool guy. I like him. I like his shows that he does. Some people, like, hate him. I don't know why. I've heard hate. Probably because he almost closes up establishments that probably don't do their job right. I like it. Renage in a gravy. I don't know why I'm saying that. I hope my freaking YouTuber is watching this. He probably isn't because he doesn't know me. And also my other guy that sang this song. I mean, besides the point that, we use, like, mainly... God damn it! Like, besides the point that we use potatoes as, like, the main, like, meat. Our meat. Meat. We are not, like... We used it also because we were growing a shit ton of plants. And one of them were carrots. I don't want to hear anything. I love carrots. Same thing with peas. I love peas. Same thing with corn. I like corn. But this is sweet corn cream style. This says it. Says it. You know, I'm not going to show the camera. just the same. I love me some peas and corn and some carrots and some cabbage. Some of that stuff that's right over here. But yeah, that's gonna be good. I'm gonna eat. I can't wait. Can't wait. Hungry. The fuck? Fish. I don't know what came over me. I had to say that. Okay, well. Anyways. So, during the Second World War, again, we'll talk about this for a little more while these are almost done. One of our main priorities, I'm just going to let everyone know. Okay, give me a second. No, my nose. My nose wants to. Okay, fuck. Well, anywho, we use a few things. One of these things was cereal. Wheaties. These are going to be a key ingredient for another thing. I forgot what I was doing with these. Ah! My no! But I like these. Oh, I think they're done. No, they're not. What are they? They're probably not done. Ooh. But one thing we did do during the Second World War was the fact that we relied on a few things like vegetable stock, and in our case we're using vegetable broth. No GMO. 100% all natural. And this rich flavor was ever since 1945, so you know it's good. Yeah, you know it's good when it's from the 40s. Specifically in America. I don't know actually what this is made, but we're using it. You know what I should do? I should get ready. Get ready by opening the corn and opening the peas. I had that. I forgot about that. We have a little hefty gadget here at the White household, aka the Amaya household. I only say that because my name is Quish White. Quish White, the guy that can't figure out how to plug this in correctly. Okay. Hey, wait a minute, it didn't work. Oh, I did it wrong. Yay, I did it! Let me check on these boys. Let me check on these. I'm sorry. Let me fix that camera angle for you. I'm sorry. Hello. Yeah, it's just the divine flavors going to my nostrils. Now it's time to put the corn. No, well, let me try again. Now that smells wonderful. I can't wait to. Okay. Damn, I'm sad now. Let's go freaking demolish the corns. It's gonna become a monster of corn. I really love corn. I have a problem with corn. I love corn. Even the one that's spelt with. Okay. So, I love the band Korn. I also like corn. I love corn, and I love the band Korn. I don't know why, but I love corn. God damn it, my phone. Give me 1 second, I'll be right back. Okay, sorry. I gotta get the recipe up in this phone again. Don't wanna possibly get something wrong. Something might be wrong. Where's my hand like that? Okay. I need to wash my hand. Okay. Ah! Water. I love water. I love drinking water. I love water so much. I think I might grab one. If we have one. Indeed we do. Nice cold water. I know what some of you were thinking. Don't you dare say anything in the comments or say anything in the class. Do not. Specifically, I'm looking at one of you. You know who you are. Two of my friends know what I'm talking about. Better. Or else. Just kidding. I'm just kidding. Just kidding. It's not a threat. Not be done. Perfection. Okay, now the recipe calls for this. Let me read it out to you. So, okay. Now it's time to bring this stuff over here. Bring it over here. Bring the goodness over here. And so we're not missing anything. Also, during World War II, back to World War II, besides me talking about water or God knows what pops in my brain, we are also more information that for the dinner, it's going to be mainly out of the fact that, well, we had problems with, well, wait, does it tell me that? Okay, yeah, it just tells me to pop it in. Pop it in. Splooge! Splooge. Splooge. Splooge, baby. Splooge. Woo! Okay, some of this. Some of this. Some of this. I know what I'm doing, don't think. I know there's chefs in the classroom. Please do not judge me. Right. And for a fact, I'm just gonna put them all in there. Just say to put some in. Just say I put some of this in here. Nah. Forgot what I was doing. Spooge. Spooge. Does this look like vomit to some people? It might look like vomit to some people. It might just look like it. Yeah. It's stock. No, we had the whole stock. Watch me. Not the whole stock. Oh, it's time to add the whole stock. Give me a second. Don't add the whole thing. I changed my mind. Don't add the whole thing. Let me see the next one. Alright. Mixing all these. So we can get a nice, good flavor. No! As you can tell, they probably should not be alone for a few minutes if I'm having this. I know what I have to do now. Because it literally tells me to. Alright, here goes the pepper. Alright. Well, it's time to add the rest of these. Yeah. Alright, let's finish it off because we do have to put all of it in because we got a big pot. Then we're gonna add some pepper. Some pepper. Should be enough pepper. I have not used one of those. There's a spatula. Time to mix it. Mixing, mix. Gotta go and mix it up. I'm going to say something about World War II. Specifically the fact that I'm going to show you guys what this looks like. It kind of looks delightful. I don't care what some of you guys say. It looks pretty good though. You guys get to see this. You guys get to see my creation. Does this look awful to you guys? I don't care if it does. I made it, and I don't care. I made it with love. And I did not feel it with hatred. If I did, I probably would add more ingredients. I hated myself. Yep. For a fact, these are one of the stews that you could make. I picked it because I love the fact that there's a stew. I like the fact that there is a stew that. I like the fact that it's stew. It's vegetable stew. And I like vegetables. I know half of my class loves. And I mean loves it. But somebody doesn't. If you ate this, buddy, you would probably not be eating it. Because, come on. I'm going to pick one out. You can see that. You can see a carrot. You can see a half head of a you can see a whole head of cabbage wasn't here. Okay. But oh shit. No! come on. Well, sure, I may... Did I just fucking come on my fucking shirt? Holy shit, what the hell? Oh well. The show must still go on, as in my theater world. As some of you will know, the show must go on, even if you have a messy shirt. Yeah, even one of my guys that I worked with, we had done improv during the actual show, which I was scared that it would have happened. And spoiler alert, my next play is a Dungeons and Dragons thing. Yay! Is that hot? No, it's not hot. Oh, it's not hot? Damn, let me put my whole hand in there. Just kidding, I'm not that sick. I'm not sick enough to put my whole hand in veggie broth. Or vegetable broth, but I don't care. I'm probably gonna do a flip with it. There's more in here. There's more for veggie broth. Give me a second, let me add the rest. So guys, we will cut to the next recipe. Yeah, the one recipe that I like. I think my buddy also likes it. It's mac and cheese. And it's a staple of America also. And little. And sadly, we do not have Dino chicken nuggets for everyone. Nor even regular chicken nuggets. Because we could not afford them. Nor Dino nuggets existed. Hopefully they did. If they didn't, I'm so freaking sad. Oh, anyways, well, we're gonna leave this on the back burner. Cuts the mac and cheese. Hell yeah. So guys, we're now going to the mac and cheese while that is going off, and we're going to be adding our bacon to this. This will be a while. And we are also going to have to leave this on the pan for a little. And I also have to let my my water boil, and while that's boiling and while the bacon's cooking, we'll be on a short little pause so we can go up and talk about a few things about what happened when we were at home, and it's also probably a few things I did cover up on the slides. If not, it's going to be totally new news. Hopefully it's new news, not old news. So, we will be cutting there after I finish slapping the bacon on here. And when we're done, well, we are doing our little history lesson. Alright? See you up there. So guys, while that is cooking and everything's, well, being made, I have a little timer going on my phone. So, we're going to be cooking, and so, some facts about World War II were the fact that when we were at home and had, well, basically had our struggles, like, half of the family's populations were skyrocketing down, which in 1945 at home we did have these things as called baby booms, which they were a big uplift of having babies coming in. And we had an all-time high for baby booms happening in 1945, 1946, and practically all the way to the 50s. And what ended up happening over time was the fact that when soldiers were coming in, they got to see their wife, their kids, and sometimes couldn't come home to anyone besides their family. But also in this time era, when we won the war, I possibly mentioned this on another slide, but in the year we won, and we were declared that we won the war, we ended up throwing victory gardens. As seen on one of the slides, victory gardens were, well, the highest point where we planted more vegetables and whatnot, like lettuce, cabbage, tomatoes, apples, you name it. And those were like the biggest things that happened, besides the fact the war happened. We were still reluctantly like, oh, shit, we had these guys that just came in and now we're just okay. Which, in reality, when they did come home, they did have, like, as known, is PTSD. And some of y'all know what PTSD is, and it's a serious case that people still have today. And owning this weird and bad thing is not really good, and who doesn't? Like, PTSD is not a good thing, and flat out, no one wants us to go through it. But one thing for sure is that when we did end up at the time, like, just getting in there, and we're just like happy about it. We had to go through, like, we're like, we know we have PTSD, let's get over it. So over time, it did subside, but it was still in you. Like, if you heard something like, probably like a minor thing fall to the ground, you'll think it's someone trying to get you. But also at home, besides the soldiers coming home and everything, like the fact that we had a lot of poor decision making. Like, we just came out of the Depression, and we are now, like, going into this war, and, like, we are prepared a little, but we are, like, an army, and at the time, we did not want to be in the war, as we all know, because the war, we did not want to get into for the longest time, till Pearl Harbor was destroyed. And, matter of fact, let me get my actual slide open, because there are a few things I want to describe from my kind of like how I see it. Because I have, my computer's acting up. Okay, but anyways, one of the biggest things from when we were in America, and it was the fact we did have a sign, and it's in our classroom with Mr. Spiegel, and it's the one, "We can do it," with the girl on it, which was very famous for, well, it's showing, like, we have hope in America. Another one was the fact that some companies for kids were also like it. One of them was Disney, and one of them was saying a reminder, and it's talking about remember Pearl Harbor and keep awake.
and that was to have the fact that Japan did attack us, which kids were like, oh yeah, that shows them. And later on, we had this other thing like, share your car for your country, to come on gang, all out for Uncle Sam, and it was Mickey saying it. And also planes need gas, which they did, and also equally included the fact that we were still losing. It's like, it shows that we needed, like, homeland to help the military, which we still do now, sorta. We don't do as much, but we do still contribute to the war in a way or two. And again, just like the Disney company, well, as Disney did, DC Comics did the exact same thing, where they had Batman, Robin, and Superman, and they wanted, this is a quote, sink the Japanese with bonds and stamps. And, well, at the time when this was made, kids read this. And oddly enough, these were 15 cents per comic. Some were 10 cents, some were not. But these were like, saying like, hey, we're getting serious. Another one has knock out the Axis with bonds and stamps. And it has Batman, Robin, Superman hitting the Italy, Japan, and Germany's rulers at the time with baseball bats. I mean, not baseball bats, baseballs. And throwing them. And this was supposed to, say, we're not supposed to be with them, we are supposed to be against them. And another one was a famous comic book guy. One of them was Captain America, and everyone knows him at this point, probably. You don't? Where have you been your whole life? This comic book was 10 cents, and it has him punching the leader of Germany in the face, and it also included Bucky Barnes. And oddly enough, this, like, half of the stuff I have right now are either based on comics or based on pop culture. Another one was Wonder Woman, and if you also don't know Wonder Woman, where in the world were you? And this one, it was supposed to hypen up, like, all the women, men, and everyone to, like, please do something about something. And one of the biggest things were the fact that this comic was to keep America safe. Like, this one was Wonder Woman for president, which, not to lie, who would want to put Wonder Woman in charge? I would. Another thing is that when we did end up going around, we did have, and like I said, downstairs, food is a weapon. Don't waste it. Buy what wisely, cook carefully, eat it all. Because we had, like, very tough times with food, and one of the biggest things were, well, if we had food, we're basically beating them. Same thing with, I'm panicked as can be, and ration points won't worry me. Because at this point, ration points were very, very, very important. If you did not have enough ration points, you can't get eggs, can't get milk. You could only restrict yourself to, like, if you got, like, oh, I got 5 ration points. Let me get, get whatever that's, 5 points. And I'll actually put it up right now. 5 points And it doesn't show anything. I said. Oh my god, my tabs. So we're gonna go, what would 5 ration points get you in World War II? Which, okay, it doesn't show this. Alright, well, anyways, my timer just went off. We'll have to look at this later. Probably at the end of the video, after the cake is done. I am making a cake. And it's going to the school. And I'll see you back downstairs. We're back here in the kitchen. And we are now starting. This is a scrambled egg. It's practically it's macaroni. And with bacon and eggs. But we did not have cheese. I mean, we did, but hard to come by. Because, well, we are not doing so good. And, well, at the time it wasn't that good, and same thing with milk and everything. It was like pretty difficult to get like really good like stuff cooking in the kitchen. Obviously, besides like normal things like, well, all this and whatnot, like, so it's like practically what you would imagine, like a little thing. I need to do something. Give me a second. Okay. There's someone stuck. Give me a second. Oh yeah, of course I am in the wrong one. Oh yeah. That's right here. And as you guys saw earlier, like for the fact that we ate something like this, it's kind of like bare bones of like how we ended up eating. Like we were like at the brick of like, oh, we could possibly die any day now. And it was kind of scary. I mean, not kind of, it was really scary. And in this pot right here, we have cream of corn and milk. A whole can of cream corn and a whole 1/2 milk. And we have to wait till this goes to a boil. So, yeah. And give me a second while I look at the recipe. So the next step, once we're done with the eggs, is that we
get everything. So, letting these sit for a little longer. So that's just me. I'm going to add no pepper because we're mainly focusing on this. Once this milk starts to boil with the cream of corn, we are going to throw in our macaroni. And luckily for us, we are practically done with this, but we just have to let this sit for a little longer because the fact is I need to wait till this is done because we are going to add these eggs with our mac and cheese after its sauce is done. So once this is done, we'll go take this off the heat, and then you'll find it handy. So, alright. It's about the time we are going to flip this. Flip it! In and out. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. I just have to get. Ooh! Oh, we did it. There we go. Had to do a little thing, you know? So we have to do this. Looks like it's getting to boil. So we'll have to switch you around this right now. So now this should be almost done, so let's bells! Okay. Anyways, it should be done right about now. So that means we're going to put the macaroni in now. Once we do, we have to extremely careful as if to not burn your hands, because you do. Ooh, that's gonna hurt. Does this look odd? Yes. Do I think it might taste good though? It looks like it. You know what? Well, I'm just gonna use my instincts and check on our shoe looks delightful. Luckily, it's not done, sadly. But our corn and milk and macaroni mixture is not yet done because, well, we just threw the macaroni. So we're just gonna lower it in the middle. So this should be good. And we're gonna keep on flipsy-doozing it because for the sake of it. And it should be done not so quickly, but it should be done soon. So Yeah. Well, looks like this is done now, actually. So we'll be taking this out, and I will be putting a picture in as what it would look like. And on to when the stew's done. Yay. Hello, and welcome to the emergency steak, the last and final meal. Let me first put down our... I'm going to be cleaning after this, so our emergency steak's right there. Come on. And then we got our... So, this is our last and final meal of the night. This is what they casually did eat when during the Second World War, and most specifically the fact that we mainly use this cereal, Wheaties, which is an interesting combination by far. And what else is interesting is the fact that give me a second. You may be asking why did they use this much pepper? They use like a whole cup of pepper. Oh, there's something wrong? Huh? Well. Oh, there we go. Oh, well. We got our pepper in, either way, so. We also got some potatoes to make some mashed potatoes. And the water is not ready yet, so. We are now moving on to one ingredient we do need. Milk. With the emergency steak, we do need like a half cup milk, which, give me a second, let me grab it. Don't need much milk, but oh, I just didn't. There we go. That's good. And into our mixture it goes, which then we do start mixing with our hands to try to get its flavor, you know? Just trying to get like that one specific flavor into this one thing. And we also made this because Betty Crocker at the time was mentioning in her cookbook that when the husband comes home and you have to get a meal ready and practically prep before he gets there and be practically a good housewife. And this whole like thing was like really like, it was like the cheapest thing that they could get, because steak was like an arm and a leg for them, and ground beef wasn't, for practically a few reasons, like the fact that when using a
using ground beef, they ended up making a T-bone shape. I am doing poorly at it, so taking my word on this would not be the best, but you do shape it into a T-bone steak, which also they added carrots to this, but that was only to have like kind of like practically show like it was a bone. To show for sure like, oh, we had milk, you name it, and we had the oven preheated. It's still preheating, so I'll update you when the steak is in the oven. And also, off camera, I had to get some assistance with this. This is a wacky cake, not a depression cake, as I've been saying at the school, but it's supposed to, and it's a family recipe, so don't think you're gonna get it. But I'm gladly gonna bring some of this to school so you guys can see and practically taste the 40s. Yeah. It's a weird time to be alive, but, well, my rambling on got to the point where we go ahead and move our steak very carefully. Ooh. Okay, also, by the way, one thing I forgot to do that I was lucky that I caught myself doing was the fact they use butter for their pan, just like in general, because they don't have like olive oil, ham, you name it. So today we're just going to be using the olive oil just for it to not be stuck. And so we're going to be popping this baby inside the oven, and we're going to be leaving it in there for about 8 to 15 minutes, and once it's done, I'll show you. But as I'm saying this, we're going to be throwing the potatoes inside, so I'm going to be throwing this in the oven really quick. And here we go. And now I move on to the potatoes, where it's just casual mashed potatoes. We're just putting them in hot water, and let me wash these really quick because I had to do a few things. So that's a lost cause. But now we are going to be placing these in here right after the fact that the water is going to be boiling. So we are going to cut back when everything is ready and done, so you guys can get a glimpse of how dinner kind of looked like in the 1940s, even including Betty Crocker's recipe. So can't wait for that. I'll see you then. Okay, now that we got our potatoes in the bowl, the steak out of the oven, we got our seasoning here, our salt, our pepper, our stuff for our potatoes, where we are going to be mashing them together, because that's what you do. And plus, potatoes were a huge livestock focus in World War II, and during that time we did have a shit ton of potatoes. I'm gonna move you guys. You're facing the coffee maker. But they mainly required off of what you would imagine at home. Like, people made potatoes and whatnot at home, but it was tougher due to the fact that the there was barely any, like, some sort of, like, way to know for sure you're going to be getting this. But the only way you could have gotten, like, potatoes and this, like, whole thing, let me show you. This whole thing right here, that cost, like, a few points. And for a few points, it was practically worth it because Betty Crocker practically said this will be worth your while so you can treat your husband. And it's pretty much like, these are like just traditional mashed potatoes, but this is just as they had it. There is a few things that I would have preferably changed, but this recipe is like one of the dinners that a household wife and husband would have. And to a surprise, half of the men that did end up trying to join the war, they did, but some men that didn't want to also did, but which, no duh, like, why am I talking about this? But the reason is some American men did not end up going because they were just too busy, like, they couldn't do anything, and they were also not fit for it. Sure, like, now it's like, you have to be prepared for the war, and you have to prepare for another draft, which, I mean, some people will. I'm not, because I preferably like to be a chef or even what I'm doing right now, YouTube. I am not some person to go around like willy-nilly and go, yeah, I want to openly join the war whenever. I'll be ready. No, I won't. But, yeah, this is practically everything I've made for this time era. It's a sad time, but it was something crazy overall because now I get to try out the sad days of America. I'm happy to say that I'm happy that you guys joined me on this sad journey through American history, going through what we ate for for a side, and then main dish, then for breakfast, lunch, you name it. It's pretty fun, but got tiring. But thank you for watching this video. Like and subscribe and smash that bell icon. I don't know what to do all those YouTube things. And see you in another video. And that probably is Arkham City. Bye-bye.